starting out our 3-day trek in the Grand Teton Range in Wyoming. Got the whole group behind us, all packing in and out. Here's to an adventure. So we're a few miles in. We're going well. This is one of those moments where it makes, so you can tell already it makes a real difference having a proper pack. So we're renting an Osprey Aether with all of our gear for the next few days, including food, sleeping, all that stuff, change of clothes, waterproofs. Stunning out here, and on we go. So we're making our way through the meadows here. It's about 70 degrees, absolutely stunning, so peaceful, so quiet. We're the only souls we expect to see on this trip. But yeah, you know, this is kind of what we're about, right? Carryology, you figure out to use the right stuff. So I'm wearing my fuel raving gear. I just love their Abisko stuff for hiking is hard to beat, you know, and the Osprey pack, obviously, Hoka boots, but it makes a difference. You know, we talk about this stuff all the time, but it does make trips like these more enjoyable. You get to focus on the trip rather than the discomfort or whatever it might be. So yeah, let's crack on. So here we are at the end of day one, 7.5 miles, 8,500 feet elevation. It's a tough one for sure, but absolutely stunning out here in Wyoming. You know, you get to have a real understanding of, firstly, how amazing it is to be out here in beautiful places like this. But also, you know, why we love gear. Good gear makes things better. Like today was incredibly tough. It was very challenging. With moments of like, oh my goodness, it's been a while since I've done this. But with the right gear, and you know, an awesome backpack from Osprey, like the Osprey harnesses are just out of this world, aren't they? They're just so comfortable, they're so easy to use, like it's got all the pockets you can need, you know, we're packing everything in and out. Everyone's sharing a load of food, everyone's sharing the equipment we need for camp, but then people are bringing all their sleeping bags, tents, etc. And the same with the clothing, you know, like fuel raven stuff is designed for hiking, and it's just killing it. My discomfort has been diminished significantly by good gear, and that's what we love at Carryology, you know. And can't wait for the event to continue tomorrow, an even bigger day, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully acclimatise to the altitude a little bit more, and we get to try out some new fun Sea to Summit tents and sleeping bags tonight, so hopefully we'll rest well, and we'll be back at it again in the morning. So day 2, and we've got another 2,000 feet climb ahead of us to get a peak. We dropped off the big packs for now on the small ones. Here we go. Here we are about 1,000 foot from the summit maybe, and we're about to scramble. So it's a tough push ahead of us, but the views are just phenomenal. Here we go. Approaching camp on day 2. We've done about 10 miles today. It's been brutal but beautiful, as you can see as we walk through these rolling meadows of the Wyoming range, and we're going to be camping just in those woods off in the distance. Very much forward to getting off our feet, getting some food in our bellies, setting out camp, and then a nice relaxing evening before 12 miles tomorrow. End of day 2 is it's been brutal. It's 10 miles, 10,490 feet on our summit today, and then we hiked out another 6 miles to Roosevelt Meadow, which is where we are staying tonight. You can see behind me, you can see this beautiful river setting as the sun's starting to go down, and there you can see the Sea to Summit tents, and that's our campground over there where we had dinner. It's been a challenging day. Tomorrow's going to be our biggest day yet, 12 miles all the way back to where we started, but it's been really fascinating. It's been very hard, no doubt about that. It's very challenging. Maybe it's just my job, maybe it's what we do, but we've all been sat here talking about gear and what good gear means when you're on these trips and allows you to do things like this. And people from all walks of life in this little group that we're out with, and it's really fascinating to see, you know, what the things are that tick their boxes and keep them going. And there's some that are all agreed upon, there's some that are different opinions, but good gear is good gear, you know, and so it allows us to do amazing things like this. So until tomorrow, I'll say good night. So here we are on the final morning. It's bright and early, it's 5:30. The sun's starting to come up. And we're about to head out on our last journey. We've got about 12 miles to do today. Toes are bruised, slept well there. So here we go. A mile in, about 10, maybe 11 more to go. So let's keep moving. Getting there. About 3 miles left. It's been a long, hot day, but we're getting there. So we did it. We all survived. Back in the hotel room. Sorry I didn't film this at the end of the trail. My battery actually died. It seems very apropos for a backpacking trip, doesn't it? What a few days. A really challenging and rewarding time in the Wyoming wilderness. Got to see some amazing things with some awesome people and some incredible gear, which is, I guess, why we're really here, right? And it was a challenging trip. There's no two ways about it, right? We did over 30 miles in about 56 hours, 10,500 foot of elevation. It's really challenging, but good challenge. And it's good to be challenged, right? It's good to put yourself outside of your comfort zone. And particularly as gearheads, you know, I think this trip really reinforced for me what we talk about at Carryology, which is exploring better ways to carry. And that's not just by the shiny gear or whatever, but it's by the gear that works. And I had multiple times during this trip, you know, where I really thought about how the gear I brought with me and the gear I was using and the gear I was testing made such a huge difference to my enjoyment of a trip like this. Having gear that you can rely on, well, it keeps you in the moment, is huge. And of course, I'm a carryologist, so I planned everything meticulously. I knew what I was bringing, and I thankfully happy to say didn't bring a single thing that I didn't use, which I'm sure Mr. Weldon will be very happy with. It was one of my lightest packings ever. But the big difference it made to me was that I could rely on stuff and I didn't have to worry about it, and I could be in the moments. In the moments I'm talking about, you know, hiking through 80-degree weather with 60 pounds on my back, or there are moments where I'm at the campsite and there's a thunderstorm, but I've got the right jacket with me and I've got the right camp shoes with me. And it makes a huge difference because you're not worrying about what might give up next. You're not worrying about like, oh, I hope this makes it through. You're really living and enjoying in the moment. And when we talk about adventures, whether they're big or small, it's really about being there in them, right, and enjoying them. It just really reinforced to me how awesome it is that we love gear and how good gear makes such a big difference. It's not necessarily about the brand name or the big shiny stuff. It's about what works for the moment. And in this moment, I'm really happy to say the gear that we picked, the gear that I planned for, the gear that I tested, really came through in the way that I hoped it would. When you read the article on the website with everything I brought with me, and when you have a little look through this video of the little adventure we have, that you get some inspiration on how to maybe try something new yourself. You know, maybe try reconfiguring your gear in a way that can really elevate these experiences that you go through. And until then, we'll see you on the next adventure.